government-owned agencies or government-owned enterprises. We've been grappling for the last 15 years on making sure that those who serve in boards of parastatals and government agencies are competitively recruited and we minimize political influence. It was one of the most difficult things. I remember the report, the first report on government-owned enterprises produced by Abdikadir was done 12 years ago, but it was not possible to implement. We tried to take it to Parliament, it became difficult, but I am very happy that finally, last year, we managed to pass the law on government-owned enterprises, and as a result, boards of commercial enterprises, 66 of them, we have had to retire close to 250 board members so that we can competitively hire professionals to run those parastatals. And we set the benchmark very high. And I must commend Parliament because Parliament passed a law that actually limits the participation of politicians in boards. The GOE Act, bill that I signed into law, now says if you have been in a political office you cannot serve in parastatal boards at least for 5 years. You must stay out for 5 years. So that has been a very big bone of contention. But finally, we are now recruiting professionals to run Kenya Airports Authority, and many other agencies to introduce greater openness, bring more independent people into the management of government resources or government institutions. And all of us know of the conflict of interest bill that stayed in Parliament for a while because it provided greater scrutiny and demanded more openness in transactions that involve people that wield political power from whatever level. And that demand is now part of our statutes, injecting greater transparency, more openness, and I am very sure greater accountability to the people. We undertook that government procurement is also going to be done on a digital platform so that we know who is tendering, for what amount is it being tendered, and who are the ultimate beneficial owners of the companies that are trading with government. The EGP platform has been there for the last 12 years, but it has never been implemented until we did it last year. Again, it's providing us with an open platform where government procurement is subjected to scrutiny. And so long as you participate, the data is available. We know who is applying, we know for how much, and we know who has been awarded and why. And are they the most competitive or are they not? There is still some little pushback in some areas, but I'm very happy that we are making demonstrable progress. Our Constitution recognizes this from the very beginning. Article 10 enshrines transparency and accountability among our national values, while Article 35 guarantees every Kenyan the right of access to information. These are not aspirations. They are constitutional obligations that must be renewed through action. Today's commissioning is one such action. It gives effect to that constitutional promise, fulfills our commitment to institutionalize open governance across all state organs and agencies through an annual State of Openness report, as pledged in the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, and delivers on Kenya's 5th National Action Plan under the OGP. Kenya's democratic journey has always been defined by our determination to strengthen institutions rather than personalities. As our democracy matures, Kenyans rightfully expect more than promise. They expect openness, accountability, and measurable results. This report responds to that expectation by establishing a national benchmark against which our public institutions can continuously measure and improve their performance. At its heart, it seeks to answer one consequential question: is openness making government work better for the people? Answering that question requires more than measuring compliance with laws, policies, and procedures. It requires us to determine whether openness is improving public services, strengthening accountability, enhancing the stewardship of public resources, making institutions more responsive, and ultimately improving the lives of the Kenyan people. The report must tell us where we are succeeding, where we are falling short, and what reforms are needed to achieve better outcomes. Honest assessment is not a sign of institutional weakness. It is one of the strongest foundations of effective government. And if we are to assess openness, we must do so openly. The methodology must be transparent, the evidence must be credible, the consultations must be inclusive, and the findings must be independent. That is why it is fitting that this important national exercise is being led by the Commission on Administrative Justice, an independent institution entrusted with safeguarding administrative justice and the right of access to information. This inaugural report should establish the national baseline against which future progress will be measured. Over time, it should become Kenya's authoritative reference point on openness, institutional performance, and public trust, guiding reforms, strengthening institutions, and enabling citizens to judge how effectively government is serving them. I therefore expect every ministry, state department, agency, constitutional commission, and county government to cooperate fully by providing accurate information and participating in a rigorous and credible assessment. Government does not demand public trust. We must earn it. It is with that conviction that we gather here today to commission the preparation for Kenya's inaugural State of Openness report. Government does not become weaker by confronting the truth about themselves. They become stronger. Institutions do not earn public trust by demanding it. They earn it by serving the people honestly, fairly, and openly. That is why this administration has chosen to create the very instruments by which it will measure itself. This is more than a technical exercise. It is a national undertaking that reflects not only the value of our Constitution, but also the kind of government we are determined to build. Around the world, trust in public institutions is under growing pressure. Technology has expanded access to information, but it has also accelerated misinformation, disinformation, and the spread and manipulation of fake news. As a result, citizens are asking harder questions of government, and rightfully so. Trust cannot be simply claimed, it must therefore be earned. While I sat here and listening to what we are trying to do, in the context of where we are today, with so much information available in the public space because of technology, and with the accompanying challenges of misinformation and fake news, openness now is much more important even for government than anybody else. I think government needs openness more than any other time in our history. Because unless there is a place where people can get accurate information, unless there is availability of accurate information, and government is open enough for us to be to account for whatever is going on, then we could easily be swarmed by misinformation and fake news.